Okay, everyone, welcome to your weekly activity for this week. So, this week is going to be your found object food collage. So, I'm going to do a little demonstration. To save some time, I have already found the items I'm going to use. But as you're watching this tutorial, if you need to pause and come back to find your items, I completely understand. So, for my items, I used some packaging paper that came in a delivery that I got. I used the cardboard from that box. I have a pencil, I have a ruler, I have some oil pastels. These are just kind of add emphasis. I'll show you that when we get to that point. I had some t-shirt, like string yarn that I had around. And then I had some old kind of leather fabric materials that I used. Um, and then I also had my scissors and some glue. I do have a hot glue gun, but for this, I'm just going to use my school glue. Um, so once you have found your objects, you do not have to do the item that I'm doing. These are just the items that I had. And so this is the food item that I was able to create with what I had. But you do need to come up with some kind of found food. It's going to be kind of a collage, but I want you to look for items just around your house. So you can use magazines, newspapers, you can use an old shirt, you can use scraps of fabric if you have them, if you have paint, however you want to do that. Do not feel like you have to go and buy anything. Hopefully, you guys kind of make like maybe if you have a junk drawer or something in your house where things collect, you can use screws, nails, you can use old ribbon, you can use an old like tissue paper, anything that you can find in your house to use with that. So, I am going to actually demonstrate with a pizza collage because that is what I had. Like I said, that's what I had to use around my house. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. I did kind of already pre-cut things just to save time on this video. Um, Let me put in space so you guys can see. So what I did first is I took a piece of cardboard and I cut it into a slice of pizza. So additionally, if you want to do pizza or whatever food you may be doing, you can also use this if you're doing any kind of math. You can use it for addition and subtraction. So here are my little toppings. So especially depending on what grade, you could have students take away things, you could have them add to them. So you could work on minimal things such as subtraction and addition. You could work on measurements. So you could have them like if you like I said, if you wanted, I'm demonstrating pizza, so that's what I'm going to base everything off of. But you could have students take a ruler, you could have them measure, so you could go over numbers and things. So you could turn this into a math problem. And maybe even if you did something like pizza, you have them create their own pizza slice with their own found objects from the classroom. Maybe you have a box of stuff they can pick from. And then maybe even, maybe have pizza for them later in the day or later in the week or something if they accomplish. So this can be used as a mathematical assignment as well. But for this purpose, I'm just going to focus on it being the found object food collage because that's what this week's topic is focusing on. So I have my cardboard cutout here. You can see I kind of have my crust and then I have my centerpiece. So like I said, I kind of pre-made some things. So I pre-made kind of a crust topping here. I'm going to glue that on here in just a minute. And then I created my little topping arrangement. So this is from the t-shirts. Let's see if that's a little better. These are from the t-shirts that I had, and I cut them to make them kind of look like peppers. I took some of the other t-shirts and rolled them up to kind of make them look like the pepperoni. I used some fabric pieces. This is actually a color on this side, so I flipped it over to the white. Oops, I'm sorry, to the white side. Like I showed you, this is kind of more of a goldish color. So I flipped it over. So these are going to be my onions, and then think these were kind of supposed to be like mushrooms or black olives or something, but they're kind of a dark brown, so they could work either way. So this is my little creation, and then I'm going to take my two oil pastels that I have just to kind of make the cheese look a little bit more cheesy, and then I'm going to make the crust a little bit more brown. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this for a few minutes and kind of actually put it all together so you guys can see the finished product. And then I will come back at the end. Okay, guys. So as you see here, got my piece piece of pizza here. See that? Okay, so I've got my crust that I kind of made. I've got my base. Obviously, this color was also very helpful that it wasn't white, that it was kind of a beigey color, which is one reason that I chose to use it for this. And I've got my pepperonis, my little peppers. So, like I said, this can be just a fun project in between things. If you want to just kind of use up maybe some materials, or if you have a lot of like scrap paper or other kind of just scrap bought, like a lot of, especially like in art classes, you'll have a lot of scraps that you maybe keep in a box, or you have a lot of leftover paint and you're trying to use it up. So you could do something like this with that. Like I said, also you could use it for some kind of equation. You could use it for a math lesson to do like measurements or something. Like I said, pizza, obviously, I thought about measurements, measuring like radius, circumference, and different things like that. So you could make it real detailed. You could do addition and subtraction depending on what levels you're working at. You could even, if you went to the extreme, if you got like felt pieces or something like that, and you could have the students take things on and off and do little activities with them multiple times. Or you can simply just make this an art project that's focused around food, depending on your school or the program that you're working in. You could also even have students create something from their culture or their favorite culture. You could take this in many different ways. You could do a cultural thing with it. You could do math with it. You could do science. There's a lot of things that you could incorporate with this, but I just think this is a good project one to use up materials, especially maybe towards the end of the year or in between projects if you have some, especially like paint or something you don't want to go to waste. So I hope you guys enjoy this project, and I will see you on the next activity.